Who am I, you might ask? Come with me on a journey into our present and our past. I'm here to represent the black women of today and all those since time began. We come in all ages, shapes, sizes, and colors of skin. We are the mothers of civilization, giving birth to God's creation. In every generation we've gone through trials and tests, but the journey is not over yet. There's work for you and I to do because we share a part in this journey too. And that work goes beyond the walls we live and worship in. It spills out into our neighborhoods, reaching out to the needy and those who are lost in sin. And you don't have to be famous or well-to-do to bloom where God has planted you, because God uses ordinary women like you and me to accomplish His extraordinary plans. But we have to be willing to stand. We're not here by chance, and there's no such thing as luck, because the steps of God's children are ordered by Him that we do so much. God allowed us to be here at this time in history to fulfill His purpose in this generation is our destiny. God gave each of us a gift to use, and love is the key to harvesting His vineyard is huge. All around us, every day, we see young men and women lost and gone astray. Many of our young men are sent to prisons daily. Some are killed unarmed, and some are unjustly locked away. Are we to remain silent, have nothing to do or say? Or do we lift our voices against injustice, seek God's guidance, and pray? Black women are a powerful force we can be when we let God direct the path of our destiny. Because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, we need the whole armor of God and a lot of love. We need one another. One woman's voice can't make them hear, but many voices can make it clear. And if we gather together in His name, He will be in the midst, and victory we can claim. Our journey began in the Bible, you see, and within it is our history. Let me introduce you to a few black women used in God's plan, who changed the course of their destiny and that of man. When I went down to the river to wash myself, I saw a baby and saved him from death. Waves of compassion came over me when I looked into the ark and saw a bundle of humanity. Because I drew him from the water, I named him Moses, and he became my son. A godly man and a leader of Israel he would become. I am Pharaoh's daughter and princess of Egypt. I am, and always will be, a woman of God's destiny. The Bible didn't give me a name, and some say Zipporah and I are one and the same. It really doesn't matter what my name is, you see, because I will forever be in the pages of biblical history. I walked with my husband through the sands of time and left my legacy and footprints behind. I am the one that Miriam and Aaron opposed, the Ethiopian woman that Moses married and God chose. I am and always will be a woman of God's destiny. I am that queen from the south who will rise in judgment with the generation and condemn it. The African queen who crossed the Sahara to visit a king. I wanted to prove him with hard questions, but to my pleasure, I found his godly wisdom was beyond measure. I communed with him all that was in my heart, and he answered all of my questions about his God. King Solomon was his name, and wisdom was his claim to fame. I am Makeda, Queen of Sheba and Ethiopia. I am and always will be a woman of God's destiny. I began working on a plantation at the tender age of 5. I had carried the chains and scars much too long. I was tired. I reasoned this out in my mind. There was one or two things I had a right to, liberty or death. So I began to make plans to free myself. I prayed, Lord, I'm going to hold on to you, and you have to see me through. God's time is always near. He meant I should be free. He set the North Star in the heavens. He gave me strength in my limbs, and I was able to make it because of him. I ran north from slavery to be free, but 19 times I went back, and with the help of God, more slaves were freed by me. I was the conductor of the Underground Railroad for 8 years, and I can say what most conductors can't say. I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger. I am Harriet Tubman. They call me Moses of the Underground Railroad. I am and always will be a woman of God's destiny. I had just gotten off of work when I took my seat on the bus. When a white passenger boarded, the driver wanted me to get up. People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired. But that isn't true. I was not tired physically, no more tired than usually. And some people have an image of me as being old then. I was 42. The only tired I was tired of giving in. God has always given me the strength to say what is right, you see. And since I've always had a strong belief in God, I knew that He was with me. I could see the driver's look of defeat when I refused to surrender my seat. And getting arrested, I did not plan. It was just time. There was opportunity for me to take a stand. My actions started a boycott that was citywide and launched the Civil Rights Movement of 1955. I am Rosa Parks, mother of the Civil Rights Movement. I am and always will be a woman of God's destiny. My early childhood began with a dysfunctional home life, and I was physically abused by relatives more than twice. But through it all, I was skipped 2 grades in between, and I was awarded a scholarship at age 13. When I went to live with my father, he pushed me to succeed and made education first priority. At age 17, I began broadcasting, graduated from high school with a full scholarship to TSU, and I became Miss Black, Tennessee 2. While attending TSU, I received an offer from WTVF-TV and became the first African-American news anchor in Nashville, Tennessee. In 1978, I co-hosted the talk show People Are Talking, and it led me down a path of 24 years of talk show hosting. In 1986, my talk show was launched and aired nationally. It became the longest running and most successful female talk show in U.S. history. I've come to believe that each of us have a personal calling that's unique as a fingerprint And what God has in store for you goes far beyond anything you could have imagined. In 2007, the Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa was founded and funded by me. I am Oprah Winfrey, the first woman in history to own a cable TV network. I am and always will be a woman of God's destiny. I grew up on the south side of Chicago in a one-bedroom apartment with a stay-at-home mom and a dad who worked for the water department. I graduated from high school as the salutatorian of my class in 1981, and my road to higher education had just begun. I graduated cum laude from Princeton University, and from Harvard Law School, I earned my JD degree. I began my career in public service as commissioner to Mayor Daley, and from there I became an executive director for Public Allies in 1993. And while I was working for a Chicago law firm, I met and became a mentor to my husband-to-be. Today, I sit by his side in the country that denied my ancestors their freedom, history, and pride. My critics have tried to define me, and eventually I realized that if I wanted to keep my sanity and not let others define me, there was only one thing I could do, and that was to have faith in God's plan for me. One of the lessons I grew up with was to always remain true to yourself and never let what somebody else say distract you from your goals. So when I hear about negative and false attacks, I really don't invest my energy in them because I know who I am. I am a wife, a mother, a lawyer, and a public servant. I am Michelle Obama, the 44th First Lady of the United States of America. I am and always will be a woman of God's destiny. Women of God, women of destiny. We have seen a few black women like you and me who are now part of our history. And if we are to achieve anything at all, we must do our part and stand for righteousness with godly wisdom in our hearts. It doesn't matter how old, how young, what your status is, or where you come from. If we stand with strength and honor as clothing, we shall rejoice in times to come. And while you're on your journey, the enemy will try to block your way. Don't give up, but do take time to pray. We have to finish the race we started and keep pressing on until we reach our heavenly home. And always remind yourself that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, because I am a woman of God and a woman of destiny.